folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I'm going to try to run through this video fairly quickly and not get too long-winded because there is a thunderstorm headed my way. In fact, you might be able to hear some of the thunder and lightning, or well, not the lightning, but the thunder off in the distance as it's rolling in. So we'll see if I can talk fast enough to beat the storm. Today's August 30th. This is one day before the official evacuation, retreat, get out of Afghanistan. That's supposed to be tomorrow. And already today, we've closed up shop. We're done. We're gone. The last U.S. airplane has left the building or the airport. And the Taliban is now in control of the airport. We're done. Apparently, a 20-year war. We've been over there 20 years. All the lives lost, all the money spent, and we're done. We finally pulled out and everything's done. We've closed up shop and gone home. Except, well, we didn't exactly take everything with us. $85 billion or more of equipment and weaponry that we left in country. You all know about that. You also all know about this other thing. It's called American citizens that's been left over there. That's right. The number is a little fuzzy exactly. The Pentagon is saying very few hundred. So I would say more than 200 or 300, because if it was just a couple of hundred, that's what they would have said. So very few hundred. I'm not sure what that number is. Is that more than 5, less than 8? Not sure. Other reports are saying that number is probably more like 4,000, maybe even as high as 9,000. If you go back and you do the math of what they said that they have evacuated out of there, and then compare that to the most accurate number we can come up with beforehand of the amount of Americans in Afghanistan. The big point is, though, is that we have left as a government, as a military, and we've left a lot of American citizens in the nation of Afghanistan. We've also left a lot of allies. We've left a lot of people that were Afghanis that were promised, to go with us because they helped us. They were interpreters. They worked with us. They sided with us. There's already reports coming out of Afghanistan that interpreters are having their tongues cut out. There's also reports, obviously, of ISIS being in there. Apparently, the airstrike that we did to take out the ISIS people, well, it didn't actually take out anyone that was with ISIS. In fact, it took out an Afghanistan family of interpreters, people that actually worked for us, and that's who we actually took out. Another just blunder. It's been one after another. I've never thought I would see it, especially this nation, but just about any country that could mess something up so epically as this whole withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, I don't think anyone thought that, leaving Afghanistan was going to go perfectly smooth, but I would think that most people would get it, that there should be some level of planning, and it seems like there was no planning whatsoever. It was just tuck tail and retreat. The biggest problem that we have here right now is that we left a lot of American citizens in country. I mean, there's all kinds of excuses. Well, we only took the ones that wanted to leave. We heard that for the last 2 weeks from the White House. If they want to leave, you remember that? You've heard that many times. Well, if they want to leave, the Americans that want to leave, and then we heard all kinds of stuff of constantly, almost every day. Well, if you're coming to the airport, don't come to the airport. Don't come. There's a threat here. Don't come to the airport. I could go on and on and on. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that you, as whatever you call yourself, okay? You watching this channel, and maybe you call yourself a Christian, maybe you call yourself a Bible believer, maybe you call yourself a conservative, maybe you call yourself a prepper, whatever it is, whatever that you call yourself. Know this, that this current government and this mentality that is happening right now in America is that nobody likes you. You have a target on you. You are no longer popular. Your beliefs, the way you live your life, your standard of morality, your standard of religious beliefs, your standard of how a family structure should be, your standard of what a man is and what a woman is, your standard of how the government should leave you alone, the standard of how you want to grow your own food, how you want to live a life of independence, whatever that standard is, if it's in that realm, it's no longer acceptable. It's no longer not just popular, it's just no longer acceptable. And we've heard it many times, and I've talked about it on here, of how we're watching the wordage change aggressively over the past 18 months. You know, it really, I mean, it's been going on longer than that. But I want to say the election in November was kind of that tipping point of where people became very emboldened and calling, you know, right-leaning, Bible-believing, family values, traditional values, conservatives, you know, pro-gun, whatever it was, alienating us, you know, demonizing us, calling us threats, calling us even to the point of saying terrorists or something as bad as that. In fact, I saw an article. I don't know if I can find it again. If I can, I'll put it up here. But it was I think an op-ed article in one of the major publications, left-wing mainstream publications, that was comparing right-wing extremists in America. Or no, I take that back. It wasn't right-wing. It was people that refused to get this. That's it. The people that refused to get this. It was comparing them to the Taliban or maybe ISIS, one of those, you know, terrorist groups, and saying that they were worse. People that refuse to get this do more damage and cause more death and cause more destruction than the Taliban or ISIS or Al-Qaeda. Now, I'm saying all this, and this isn't a big shock to you. You've all heard this before. Probably most of you have thought this. You're at least aware of it. I'm saying all this to remind you that today our government abandoned hundreds, if not a few thousand, American citizens. American citizens that could very well be tortured and very possibly killed, just walked away from them, just abandoned them because apparently they had worked out some kind of deal with the new terrorist regime that's controlling the place and said, well, you know, we can't step on their toes. They're in charge now. You know, sorry about all you American citizens that we left behind and what might happen to you. Oh, well. If you have an idea in your head that no matter how bad things go, you're still an American citizen and you still retain some certain rights, constitutionally protected rights as an American citizen. And as much as the left and as much as the government and the elites and the globalists and all of them hate you, well, I'm still an American citizen. They can't do too much to me. I mean, they may try to change laws and stuff, but I mean, they're never gonna like round us up and put us in train cars, or they're never going to, you know, really do bad things that could actually cause physical bodily harm or end my life. I mean, I'm an American citizen. They would never go to that point. You know, this isn't Nazi Germany. This isn't communist Russia. This isn't communist China. This isn't Cuba. That kind of stuff's not going to happen. Folks, we just abandoned hundreds, if not a few thousand, American citizens. Abandoned them with no way to get out in a country that's run by people that hate Americans. And if you think for a moment that just because you're an American citizen, that you somehow, you know, have this protection over you, that Constitution is actually some bulletproof, you know, garment that you put on and that will actually really protect you. I'm here to tell you that Constitution, as great as a document as it may be, only functions if the government is just and moral. It only works if it's that way. when the government becomes unjust and immoral, the Constitution is now worthless. It's worthless. George W. Bush is kind of well known for saying that the Constitution is just a blankety-blank GD, I'm not going to say that word, piece of paper. He let everyone know he didn't care about it. And all of them pretty much in power probably feel the same way. Because when the government becomes immoral and unjust, those protected rights that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights point out, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not saying this so that you can all of a sudden, panic and fear. Oh my goodness, he's right. I've got a target on my back. They could take me out at any time. I'm letting you know this because the stuff that's going on, the stuff that we talk about on this channel every day, the stuff that other channels talk about. I'm not saying I'm the only one, that many other people are out there trying to shake people awake. People are out there trying to say, listen, I know you are aware of these things. I know you know this stuff. That's not what you need to wake up for. What you need to wake up for is that you need to get ready. You need to prepare yourself. That's what you need to wake up for. And wake up for the fact that when it comes down to it, if it's loading you up in some vehicle and hauling you off to a quarantine facility, if it's holding you down and putting something in your body by force that you don't want, if it's entering your home and taking you off, taking your children, taking your wife, taking things from your home, removing them, if whatever it is, when it comes down to that, they're not going to care that you're an American citizen. They're not going to care that the Constitution says that they're not supposed to do that. They're not going to care that you're some, human being that deserves some, human rights. Look at what they're doing in other countries. And look at what they're doing to our own American citizens over in Afghanistan. Well, sorry. You didn't make it here in time. Every other country was able to get their people out. Even private citizens here in America, like Glenn Beck, was able to use his own money to go over there and get people out. But our own government, sorry. Sucks to be you. You should have done a better job of getting to the airport. It's all your fault. That's the way they make it sound. This blame game, this shifting blame that, it's not their fault. It's not the American government's fault. It's the citizens' fault. Why? They should have tried a little bit harder to get to the airport. They should have tried a little bit harder to push past all those, mobs of people and the bombs going off and the Taliban searching people and assaulting people and all the roadblocks all over the country. They should have done a better job of trying to get through all that to get to the airport. We would have taken them. They just had to get there. We live in a time that is so radically changed and different than anything that we've ever experienced. You'd have to go through some kind of deep, dark parts of human history to find instances that would be comparable to this. Americans have had it too easy for too long. In fact, I had a discussion with my son today, how us dads are supposed to have these little pep talks with their kids. He just turned 13 a week or so ago. And I was telling him about the concept that I've mentioned on here before of, tough times create weak men is basically the end of that. Good, strong men create good times create weak men. I think I said it wrong the first time. Good times create weak men. And I was talking to him about how, don't shy away from things that are tough, things that are painful, things that are difficult, things that are hard to do. I'm not saying you should always do it the hard way, but when something is facing you that is difficult, don't shy away from it. Because pushing through and doing things that are hard and difficult and painful and that cause you to struggle, that cause you to exert all of your energies, that causes you to feel pain, it causes you to feel discomfort. That's what makes you strong. That's how you get stronger, okay? We live in a country that's had it too good for too long. There's not a lot of strength left. And not only is there not a lot of strength left with the government and the people, the majority of the people have lived this good life so long that they can't even envision. They don't even have the creativity to imagine a horrible life, to imagine what it would be like if America finally collapsed, or if America finally, let that last hammer blow down on them and just ended all liberties and rights and did as they pleased to its own citizens. People just can't imagine that. And they've spent their whole lives playing video games and watching TV and air conditioning and having a good, easy, comfortable life. It's going to come back to bite us, folks. It's because it's made us a weak people, and it's made us a people so highly dependent upon the government that we're willing to give away every little bit of freedom just so that we can have a little bit of safety. Take notice of what's going on in Afghanistan. The abandonment and the no care. Our government doesn't even care. Our president turns his back and walks away. The other leaders in the government are, making excuses and lying and just showing how weak that they are. If there's any one of you that think the things that I'm saying are crazy or wrong, just think about that. Do you really believe that this display of weakness, that this display of inability to actually do a job, that this display of not giving what about American citizens left in a hostile, terrorist-run nation, if you think for 1 minute all that isn't going to lead us down a very dark path, isn't proving to everyone that our government is weak and our government doesn't care about us and that they will do anything they want to us. They don't care. They don't care that we're going to abandon these innocent people. What do you think they're going to do to you? They've already deemed you as an extremist. They've already said that you're a threat. It's been all over the news. And if they abandon, supposedly good, upstanding American citizens in a hostile, terrorist-run country, what do you think they're going to do to you? And they've already said that you're a threat to this nation. Folks, it's time to get ready. Prepare yourselves. Prepare to defend yourselves. Prepare to take care of your family. Get yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared. Because this is crazy. And it's happening whether you like it or not. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.